Tonight's episode is brought to you by yours truly, Matt Norn, Remax Bell Park. For all your real estate needs, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Tonight's episode is powered by Chubby Dog Coffee Company. Chubby Dog is located at 144 Main Street, Danielson, Connecticut, and 164 Main Street, Putnam, Connecticut. The Danielson one now serves alcohol as well. So they are open late on Fridays and Saturdays and a good time. They have all kinds of free video games and board games and all kinds of stuff to do. It's a great hang, great place for the kids. Always got some good music going. So give them a look. They have provided us with both a decaf coffee tonight and a diesel coffee tonight. And I actually cold brewed them. So anyway, check out Chubby Dog Coffee. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Norn and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the #1 podcast in my basement. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week, we bring you small business entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. This week, we feel like talking to Young's Excavation Services owner, Ben Young. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going, man?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
And we've had quite the relationship. Soccer teammates at Ellis Tech.
Yep.
And 24 years later.
Yeah, it's been a long run now. We don't see each other all the time, but...
No, but it's always a good time.
Yeah.
So, in our 20s, we did some drinking and partying together.
Just a little bit.
Little bit.
Playing cards.
Yeah. Yep, poker. That was always a good time.
Yeah.
So, to the days of the hacienda.
Yeah.
So now you own and operate your own business. Young's Excavation Services. What's the phone number there?
860-617-5610.
And you do what?
Well, I do a lot of different stuff. Right now I'm doing site work, and I like to do like stone work, hardscaping, more that kind of stuff. I do a lot of drainage work, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have my own trucks and stuff, but I'm not really in the trucking business, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Almost every excavator kind of gets into the trucking business.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, I'm doing septic systems now. I've been doing that for a couple of years. So,
Yeah, that's tedious work.
Yeah, that was kind of a fun thing to acquire, and now that I have it, it can be the, lucrative for the business, and
doing perk tests and coordinating with the health department and all the regulations and everything that go along with it.
It's definitely well regulated.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
That's a nice way of putting it.
It's well regulated here in Connecticut. I mean, I haven't put systems in other states, but I feel like Connecticut does a pretty good job of,
regulating,
keeping their eye on everything. But I'm sure it's for a good reason. Things in the past, guys, the older generation, things weren't done always right, but it's not their fault. Maybe they just didn't, know any better. But
well, I mean, there wasn't the regulation. As-built drawings, I feel like 4 and 5-year-olds do better drawings sometimes. If you've ever been to the health department, look up some of the old ones. It's like, what were they doing?
Yeah.
And it was just like record keeping was just kind of like, maybe they'll know something's in the ground, right?
Right. Like now, they pretty much require you to have a engineer do an as-build.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some septic rebuilds, and I can still do those at, hand sketch.
Okay. Yeah.
But there are like requirements on there that you have to do it a certain way. So, the measurements are the important thing.
Yeah.
And
almost every system now is engineered with septic sand, the whole bit. Like
pretty much.
There's
not a lot of good, perking soil, especially in our area.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of clay soil like
Yeah.
around here. Woodstock, you know, our whole quiet corner is a lot of just clay like soil. You
Yeah.
know, so you got to
Or
bring in sand.
ledge.
Yeah, or
Or
ledge.
ledge.
A lot of rocks. Spend my time moving rocks.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
so like a few years ago we had been at my house doing, some light excavation stuff, which
Mm,
would have been a nightmare to try and do that myself with a shovel, but
mm.
it was really cool to, he took out shrubs and um, we laid out a ton of loom.
Yep.
We leveled some stuff off, took out a stump, stuff like that. It was just kind of like, I have a punch list of stuff. Can you come? And he's like, yeah, pay me for the day. And it was, I mean, we had a great time.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. Your
um,
kids ended up coming in the machine
yep.
with me. And, yeah.
Yeah, they were riding it around or driving it around and stuff.
I feel like it escalated quick.
Yeah.
You know, I went from doing smaller jobs, just, you know, feeling it out to
Yeah.
doing the stuff that I'm doing now. But
Yeah.
I still do small stuff here and there when I have time, you know?
Right. I think you're very versatile as far as like you can have like just like one truck and a machine, small machine versus you can,
Yeah.
next thing you know, you got everything you own at a site and just doing everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think those days were a little easier for me. And to be honest with you, they're probably just as lucrative.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah.
just seems like when you add more tools, you know, it just, oh, well, that you got to pay for that. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
something else needs maintenance, right?
Right. Right.
And the list grows bigger and bigger of broken stuff I have.
And storing it all and
That, yeah,
and
it's just, it turns into this
and
like,
then employees to run it.
yeah.
But
I'm very lucky though, like that I have you know, great customers over the years that have hired me and people like yourself that, you know, took a chance at me at the beginning. So, yeah, it's just pretty good,
yeah,
you
that's
know?
awesome. And you're Woodstock based pretty much, but you
Yeah.
go. I mean, I had you down doing a perk test down in what, Lisbon or something. You were down pretty far.
Yeah, that's probably about as far as nowadays it's like I don't even get out of our area.
Yeah, just there's so
It's
much work.
it's just really so much work. I'm
Yeah.
super lucky in that department. I don't travel too far and
Yeah.
um yeah, it's just like I don't know if there's you know, just a high demand and, you know, not enough people
Oh yeah.
like myself doing
Yeah.
that kind of work or what it is, but I just feel, you know, I'm pretty lucky, you know, the work comes in and
Yeah, I feel like Kyle and I frequent quite a few of the local places, and almost every place we go to is like, we're hiring, we're hiring. You know what I mean? Is
yeah.
It's kind of like that, and I just think, I don't know what it is, but almost like we're overpopulated, but under, I don't know, people aren't working in the area. Maybe they're working outside the area, commuting out, that kind of thing, or working from home. So it's just kind of odd because like a lot of the restaurants, a lot of the small places have like they need people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. Like, you know, people, you know, we get trained nowadays in like one field. Some folks, you know, like say doctors or whatever, they're trained in that,
right.
right? So, you know, not like 150 years ago where your parents or your family was, you know, had a small orchard plus a small vegetable patch plus they built houses here and there plus they, you know, did a little bit of, you know, whatever to make money come in.
Yeah.
it, People are specifically doing certain things now and I feel like that's why there's such a growth for, you know, the blue collar fields, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely the nation had a big push for college for decades.
Mm,
And, typically if you go to college, you don't do what we do.
right.
It's like,
Right, not that there's anything
not that
wrong.
there's anything
Yeah.
wrong with it, but the trade started to really lack there.
Right.
Trade school almost like, not really our generation. Our generation was pretty positive towards trade school, but I feel like the generation before us was kind of like not, trade schools was kind of like if you can't make it in college kind of thing.
Right.
That was kind of like what it is, and now it's kind of come full circle where we don't have enough tradespeople, and we're going to pay through the nose for tradespeople's, work,
Yes.
and their licensing and stuff, because it's just
Right.
it's well regulated.
Yeah.
And it's going to be. I think there's going to be a whole kind of switch in dynamic with, this whole work from home thing, where if you choose an occupation where you get to work from home, it's not going to pay quite as much as a percentage
Mm-hmm.
as people that like us that can't just work from home,
Mm-hmm.
or like plumbers, electricians, they can't work from home. That's
No.
not like an option. So
You got to go out to the people,
yeah.
and that's partly to do why they probably make, what they make. And,
Right.
when you're having to go out and look at everybody's else's problems, I mean, just, getting there takes time. And,
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially in
you know,
your like you acquiring equipment over years. I mean, that's not something you just jump into. It's a big investment,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I often think when I'm seeing some of these huge machines, like what, that like where did they start? And then being able to nowadays like watch a guy like you started with a mini excavator.
Yep.
I'm sure it wasn't cheap, and
No.
and then and you just kind of make and save a little bit at a time, and get things paid down, and then go on to the next piece of equipment and grow a little bit, and
Yep.
it does take time. It's not,
Yep.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's basically, I guess, the secret ingredient. And, believing in yourself and knowing that when you buy a piece of equipment or you buy a very expensive tool, that you're really investing in yourself, and you can never really go wrong there.
right,
You're
yeah.
buying
Wanna
tools for
stick
your
with it.
business. You must be somewhat serious
Yeah,
to, keep on bringing your, every day, get up, be like, all right, well, I got this to make my life easier, so I got to keep going here,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you're right about equipment. It's like, we're all talking about how much things cost. Well, when you look at the price of equipment, you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
it's just, it's
yeah,
like someone has to pay for that,
right.
right?
Yeah.
This thing's monthly payment is more than a freaking mortgage of a house.
Yep.
And I don't have the money just to come up with that,
Right. Yeah. So it's wild to see it. It's I don't even know how to explain just like how small almost you start, and then it's just like these little inches, and now it just like you said, you have multiple trucks, you have employees, you have multiple pieces of equipment,
Yeah.
and you're taking on bigger jobs, and it's really cool to see that it's not like in real estate it's all on paper, like whether you do one house a year or 100 houses a year, like it's still just you're just still looking at me and a phone and a computer. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it's like you look at even like pulling into your yard has changed dramatically
Yeah.
because of clearing out spaces for your new equipment and stuff like that. So
Yep.
it's really wild to see how much things can change, and then also the work itself, like you go to a job site and it'll change dramatically in one day just because of how much earth or trees or whatever you're moving
Right.
like moves. And it's kind of cool. I remember like when I was on a framing crew, when you frame all day you can put up quite a few walls,
Right.
and then you turn around at the end of the day and it really looks different than it did the morning. So
Right.
it's like gives you that satisfaction. That's
Some
it's kind
people
of
like
cool.
a finished product.
Yeah.
You get to see that progression.
Right.
And I think I'm like that. I like
Yeah.
to see that finish changing and everything. Like today, before I got here, I was spreading some topsoil on a job that's looked like a bomb went off since like almost a year ago.
Oh wow.
And I took some breaks from there because they were building the house. And just everywhere we dug there, we dug out rocks that were 3 feet high and just huge, man.
Yeah.
And the place was such a disaster. And like today, we were kind of like putting the finishing touches on it, and like spraying topsoil, and we're like, "Wow, this looks really good."
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
finally it's happening.
You can breathe.
And the neighbors are like, right there, so they must be like, "Thank you."
So you do full house site works, like digging the cellar hole, the whole
Yeah, like
foundation.
this house in particular, um, it was just a wreck, and they were able to rebuild as long as the new house was at the same footprint as the
Oh,
old
okay,
house,
gotcha.
and it was just a mess. So it was we we demoed the house
Yeah.
and then dug out everything that was there, redug the foundation, and then Chandler Paquette built the house, and
Okay. Wow.
we had to put a new septic tank in and trenching for the propane, and they put 1,000-gallon propane tank underground. Well, that turned into like a real bad. It just was so wet and rocky, and
Oh yeah.
um uh
So what happens in that situation? You got to dig out more and lay a better bed for it to sit in,
well, what
or
happened here in particular is that Bungie Lake was man-made,
okay,
and we're right on the lake.
yeah.
So what happened was is we got down to about 5 feet into the ground, and then we hit original grade from what it used to be before the pond was there.
Oh, okay.
So we had pumps set up inside the hole because it was so wet. So we
Gotcha.
had to pump water as we're pulling out muck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then all the topsoil is like falling in the hole. It's just, dude, we took out like 6 or 7 full loads of just muck,
Wow.
and then had to bring in like 35 ton of 2-inch stone.
Yeah.
And then that entire thing, we kept the pump going, and then we poured concrete in the bottom of that so they
Wow.
could put, because now these tanks, they have to get strapped down.
Oh,
So you
okay.
let the concrete set up, and then they come and put the hometown did this one,
Yeah.
and they came in and put the tank in.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to Hometown Heating.
yeah,
Great local business.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Those guys are great.
Jimmy Booth.
Yep,
Awesome guy.
wicked good guy.
Yeah.
Kyle Herendine, I was dealing with him. He was great out there. But his guys were such pros.
Yeah.
Anyways, the propane tank turned into a real show. And something, like I literally bought a bigger machine
During this.
just as this was happening, and it
Oh,
showed
wow.
up the day before I started doing this.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been screwed without that thing.
Oh, so it was
So it's just like
it was like
funny how,
that fit right in.
yeah, things just happen like that. Like I was like, wow, I needed that machine and it was there.
Sometimes you get to win
Sometimes
one.
things work out.
Yeah, that's funny.
I was thinking that the whole time too. I was like, man, this is really hard, but at least I've got the right equipment. So
Right. Yeah.
it could have been a lot worse. Let's say
Yeah.
that.
And today you put the finishing touches on it. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're probably another 2 or 3 days there, and we'll be done.
Yeah.
But it's funny. We have to like seed. We have to put some topsoil down, rake it out, and then seed and put mulch hay down as we
Yeah.
go, because it's like out and back.
Oh yeah.
So it's
You
like
gotta
do
move
a little
at a
topsoil,
time.
back the truck in, do some seeding and haying. Because
Yeah.
I have this mulcher that takes a bale of hay and just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
got a
spreads it out.
series of knives in the bottom of it,
Yeah.
and you just blow it out. And
Yeah.
it makes it nice and like uniform. It looks
Yeah.
good, and that doesn't like clump up. When you're shaking hay.
Right. Yeah. We
So,
had one at Woodstock Builders when we started putting in our own lawns, and yeah, I don't know what was worse, running the hose or running the hay bales, because somebody has to load the hay bales and someone's got to shoot it.
shoot it. Yeah.
Shooting's probably better.
Yeah.
Loading the hay bales.
I've had some
But,
extra help. So like today, I got a guy that was driving the truck while I was doing the feed in the hay.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy, who's been with me for years, was doing what he normally does and spread it out. But
Yeah.
normally I'm like feeding the hay, then I'm moving the truck, jumping back on the back of the truck. I mean, like, good thing I'm skinny and small, like
Nimble.
just nimble. Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm nimble.
Yeah, you've never been shy for hard or intense labor work. I mean, bring you back to even high school. You're athlete in soccer. You had one of the top scoring records, didn't you, at Ellis for a while?
I think so. I don't know if that still stands.
Well,
I had a great time that year.
yeah.
You know, like that was it was
Yeah,
like another one of those things.
yeah.
Sometimes some of those goals were just like lucky, you know? Like
No, act like you've been there. It was we planned it. That's how we practice.
it was all Martin.
Oh yeah, Martin Kokodiak.
Remember him?
Oh god,
He'd
yeah.
be up at the top of the one side of the field, and then 10 seconds later he'd be down. And we'd be like, how the hell does he do that?
Yeah. Yeah, with or without the ball, he was always moving.
Oh,
he was
God.
cruising. Yeah, both you guys were so fast. And then you took automotive.
Yep.
At Ellis, so that must have given you such a great, foundation for maintaining your machines and fixing them and stuff.
Yeah, it did. It really that was for a while I think I wanted to always take masonry.
Oh, really?
I kind of wish I had taken masonry, but like, looking back on it now, I was like, well, it was all just kind of happened for a reason,
Yeah.
You do any mason work now, or are you just doing like the big stuff with the machine and stacking?
I mean, I do.
You've done pavers and stonework, like
I do quite a bit of
beautiful
pavers,
stuff. Yeah.
and there's a woman in Thompson who I work for regularly, and she has me do a lot of different types of stone work. Like I've done some stone steps, and then she redid a porch, so we set up like granite pillars that's actually supporting the porch instead of using. Of using like like an 8x8 or a 6x6.
Where do you get those from?
So those we got from San Souci Stone Quarries.
Oh, shout out to San Souci Stone Quarries.
Yeah,
It's been around forever.
They're like they have the best customer service.
Yeah.
Out of any place you'll ever go.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah.
They're like there.
Yeah.
They'll walk around with you, explain to you the different types of stone, show you what, then they'll come and move it with a fork truck so you can look at the bottom of it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're super, very, like, this guy named Sam there, that's just money.
Nice.
So that's where we get the stone, and I did a walkway, and with, sorry, the name, the cobbles, the old world cobbles.
Yeah,
cobblestones.
Cobblestones?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got to do a walkway, and those stairs were all cobbles.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun.
I want to
love-
bring everybody's attention to how you just said that. I got to do it. I mean, that just shows right there how much, passion you have for it.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to do it. It's like,
Yeah. Well, at the time I was, it was still, I have those pictures on my phone, and once in a while when someone brings up cobbles, I'm like, hey, check this out.
right?
Look at that grade. They're like, what grade?
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes you can nerd out and then people have no idea what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
They're like, that was 2% cross slope right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, so you're basically working with almost every earth medium that there is. You mentioned granite, you've mentioned cobblestone,
Yeah.
and obviously,
Pavers
all
too.
the different dirts, pavers,
Yep.
process, and doing everything from small jobs to large. It's like, that's so cool.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty lucky, man, to be honest with you. Like, it was a lot of it still is hard work or whatever, but I'm my own boss, and I would hate to have to work for anybody else anymore. It was like,
If you're family owned and operated, I think your wife has a little say.
yeah. Yeah.
She does a lot of your social media and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, a lot of it wouldn't be possible without my wife.
Yeah,
And she's
that's-
like really my biggest fan, and she does so much for me.
Yeah.
I mean, just preparing my lunch, it's kind of like cliche to have your wife making you lunch, but she makes me killer lunch every day.
Nice.
And basically breakfast too. And like, yeah, she does a lot. She helps me out with billing and quoting, and
Yeah.
she'll answer certain emails throughout the day.
Yeah.
Taking care of payroll and whatnot.
She got you on this podcast.
She's probably watching.
Probably.
You said all the right things.
That's because I'm a smart husband.
And that's right.
You'll love that.
Actually, for anyone that doesn't know, Ben was one of the guys that came on this podcast before we even had, when we were pre-recording episodes, before we decided to just go live with everything. Ben definitely took a chance and came on. He was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're just sitting around the workbench talking about what you do." He's like, "Yeah, I'll come over." I was like, "I'll make coffee."
Yeah,
I'm in. So,
yeah.
yeah, and then
The coffee's better this time, though.
oh, okay, good.
You've gotten
I'm
better.
getting better.
You've gotten better.
It's a Chubby Dog coffee. If I can put a
Love
plug in. Our local coffee roaster, Chubby Dog. He's been on the podcast and he's just been awesome. Same thing, chipping away at it, and now he's got 2 locations. So
Yep. He knows how to do it.
yeah. So can't say enough about you local guys. Just hammering it out and yeah, working with Danielle on the phone. She was like, "Hey, I see you doing a podcast," and then I told Ben about it. He said he was on it. I was like, then I had to put my tail between my legs. Like, yeah, but we were never able to publish those through colossal lack in my tech skills. And so now we just go live. I can have him on. Does June work?
I think I told her too when she brought it up to me. I was like, yeah, I think they were like in the preliminary kind of trying it out.
Yeah,
I might have been
trying
one of
stuff.
the first people or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, she was like, yeah, you're going on June. I'm like, oh, sweet. Got my own secretary. Schedule me up.
That's awesome. So are you nights and weekends doing the typical quoting and going see jobs and stuff like that and just like that?
Pretty much,
thing.
yeah, mostly at nights. After we're done, I try and go take care of, looking at work.
Mm-hmm.
Weekends, I'm trying to like just scale back on.
Yeah. Yeah, you got
It
kids.
felt like for a while there, I kind of was hitting a bad point in my like business life. I was like overworking myself, and I felt as though I wasn't really appreciating the business anymore.
Yeah, you got to hit that balance and kind of
Yeah,
keep it. It's easy to go one way or the other on it.
I in our country too, I feel like you could overwork. We're kind of meant to be like, oh, you gotta tough it out, you gotta work hard, you can never stop. Like,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people I know that are like that, and I give it to them, right?
Yeah.
But I want to enjoy it too.
Right. Yeah.
So like I really like enjoy life, I
Right.
like enjoy having fun too,
Yep.
So I don't want to move and sling dirt every day of my life.
Right.
So yeah, I try and take care of stuff on the after work, and weekends I'll check up on certain things. On Sunday, I just basically don't even really think about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Disconnect and
I
have the
think
kids.
about it, but
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
good at
yeah.
letting go now.
Yeah.
Before I
Compartmentalize.
amped up,
Yeah.
like what if this doesn't go right on Monday? And what happens if, that bleeds into Wednesday and I've already told, and now I'm just like, yeah, I just
Yeah, the experience
don't care.
of success, experience of success kind of dulls down those edges.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, yeah, it is going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you have to do that like a couple hundred times
Yeah.
before you like actually believe that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I'm the
use
same way.
your other skills besides just like being good at what you do. Like, there's other skills like, dealing with people in a certain way.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I know I said I'd be there on Wednesday, but it just can't happen, and I've really tried my hardest, and
Yeah.
it just isn't gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I want to be there, but I can't.
Right. Well, I
and-
mean, like you said, like even this propane one, the propane tank, it's like you dig down. You never know what's under the ground.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You never know what you're going to dig up.
Yeah.
And I've been on where people have tried to buy land with me, and they found artifacts on there during the survey. So it's like, you want to talk a delay? Bring archaeologists on the site.
Oh my word, I can only imagine.
So,
Like
yeah,
real artifacts?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It
cool.
was like a big deal, and they had to come in and excavate it out, and with their everything and
Yeah, your
so
hand excavation,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
and
wow.
then yeah. So I don't want to get too much into that, but yeah, there's definitely like just when you're dealing with Earth and Mother Nature is like rain, I'm sure, and certain
Oh,
weather
yeah.
events will delay things, so it just is what it is, and
Right.
yeah.
And most people are pretty, come to my surprise, a couple of years ago, I figured it out. Most people are pretty understanding.
Well, especially if you call ahead.
Yeah.
It's not a no show, no call. I can't imagine you would ever be like that,
No, I don't try and do that.
Just like, but there are people out there that will do a no call, no show, and you were supposed to be there on that day, and then they don't understand why they're frustrated, and I get that.
Right.
It's like you call ahead, communication will solve almost any problem or
Yep.
avoid a problem overall.
Yeah, that's amen to that. That's true. If you just communicate with people, that's half the battle, I
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
Well, good communication
Yeah.
is key.
Yeah.
Especially in good business, I feel like, practice. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you
Right.
got good communication with people or good customer service, I mean, people are gonna tend to look over your you know your flaws or whatever.
Right. Or something that just doesn't go
Right.
according to plan.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and if they don't, you probably don't want them as a customer.
That's right. That's true.
They're doing you a favor.
Right. And you're so right too about like what you hit underground.
Yeah.
That's the real like in everything that I price up. Most of the time, I'm like, I know it should be about this much, but I just don't really know.
Right. There's
And
always unknowns.
there's always unknowns, and a lot of people, they just want a price.
Yeah.
They want to stick by that. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, if you're thinking 5 grand, maybe you should think 7 grand.
Right.
That way,
Or we backscale a few of the things that you want done.
Right.
To get you within budget. And,
Yep.
That's one of the like I said, you're so versatile and flexible. We're like, okay, we'll do this part of the project first, and then down the road we can do the next part.
yeah,
Just
phase
kinda-
it up a little
yeah.
bit. Yep.
So,
Um,
but yeah, and then so after high school, you worked for a paving company for a while, right?
Yep.
Like usually we start off with the origin of the company, but I know like it's been kind of like this lifelong thing. And you were also talking about how your family owns and operates the orchard and the farm
Yep.
stand and stuff. So, like, kind of give us a little bit more on your background leading up to going out on your own.
well, I worked for my dad at the orchard. Through high school, I worked at Rondo's service station at the same time. So I was working on vehicles and the weekends and stuff. I was working at the orchard. I worked at my dad's for a couple of years till I was about 23. I also worked at Cargill, right?
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
as a technician or a mechanic.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when I started like getting into construction. So I started getting into paving. I was with American Industries for probably like 7 years. So I learned a lot about like road infrastructure, and road building and paving and
Drainage.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Equipment.
paving gave me a real good knack for like finish work because paving is what everybody sees at the end.
Right.
So I developed a real good knack for that, and running equipment for them. I was running a paver pretty much a lot of the time, and then the traveling and the night work got to be too much for me.
Mm.
It was like taking years off my life. I was so done with traveling. I couldn't handle it, dude.
Yeah.
And the night work, I'm not a day sleeper, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not for everybody, for
no.
sure. It's probably for a very small percentage of the population.
Yeah. And so then I started working for a company, a local company in Woodstock, construction, and he was doing, he really inspired me.
Oh,
He's
okay.
kind of a mentor of mine, actually, and he did a lot of like what I do. He just like some days we'd be doing paving and drainage, and then the other days we'd be, you know, putting a lawn in,
Yeah.
or moving stones around, or setting some big stones for somebody, or
Yeah.
bulldozing a field. It was like always something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
really kind of cool. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, would that be cool?
And look at you now.
Like, and now I'm like, ah,
Yeah, so cool.
way to go, Ben.
Start a business. It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah. Put your family into debt. No, it was good. Like, and then I worked for another small company right after that for like 3 or 4 years, and that's when I kind of was like, yeah, I gotta try this
Try it. Yeah.
on my own. I had another friend that was like, dude, you're gonna be 50 years old and you're gonna wish you tried.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still talk to that guy a lot to this day, and like I'll always remember him because I feel like he really was like like an inspiration for me to
and
like
encourage.
yeah,
And everything.
he wasn't like nice encouragement either. He was like, you freaking wimp, what's wrong with
That
you?
tough love.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna do? You always gonna be a skirt for your whole life, like. So that's how he pushed me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
awesome.
yeah, I guess he's right. So
I can't be a wuss mouth.
can't be a wuss my entire life.
That's funny.
So that's how pretty much it all just kind of went down. And I still do work with this guy, and he's a very good friend of mine. Like,
Nice.
yeah. So it was good. And that's pretty much it, like how it all kind of just happened, like over the years. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is so when you're like, what does the future look like as far as like you think you're good with equipment, kind of keep that, or do you think you're gonna get bigger? Is there like an end in sight, or is there like I don't know how to
I don't know. I don't think, I think sometimes I get these pipe dreams of really seeing what I've got. But then again, I don't think that it will happen because I don't think I want a lot of employees.
Yeah.
I feel like the bigger I would go, the more headaches it would just become. It would start to really run my life.
Yeah.
And it already does in a way. But like, for instance, when we go on vacation, Jeremy, him and his wife take the same vacation as me and my wife.
Oh, okay. So you can
So like,
schedule.
I basically
everything.
just shut the business down for a week or two.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything to worry about on vacation, which is like amazing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if I got bigger, it would turn into more like answering the phone on vacation. And that's a monumental task for me to like get bigger. It's like you need more equipment, and then you need a home base other than your home. And then everything just becomes more, oh, now you need apportioned plates for your dump trucks because you need to go out of state here and there. And then that brings on like log books, and it's just, there's so much to it all.
Yeah, you're probably in that sweet spot of the right size. You can take on most of anything anyone asks you in this area.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so
kind of.
like, there's really no reason to get any bigger.
No.
So in the end, you just you maintain or get better equipment as it goes. Doesn't have to be bigger equipment, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
makes your life easier with the more technology on the equipment.
Right.
Of course, more stuff to break.
Yeah, I mean, there is beautiful technology out there. I mean, that stuff's expensive too. But you're right as far as yeah, I am in a nice little sweet spot.
Yeah,
I'm just at that. I'm like right on that line of like, I'd either have to get a couple more guys and a little bit more, or I really just have to stay where I am.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like I really want to do. And I feel like I could probably maintain this for quite a long time, like with the shape and the health that I'm in, and my stress level is much better now than it was a couple of years ago
Right.
because
Yeah.
I'm learning how to deal with it all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, that was really big for me. I was for a while I just didn't find any joy in it, but that was my own fault. It was because I wasn't finding joy. It was like creating my own problems,
Right,
more or less.
Yeah.
But I don't think once in a while, it's probably like any one of you guys, you get these pipe dreams of you feel like you could possibly what you could accomplish, right? I mean,
We're talking on one pipe dream right now.
We are. The aspirations are great, Ben.
right.
But we don't need, a $20,000 or $30,000 truck or excavator or
Yeah.
But if we got 1,000 followers, that would be.
We're almost
there. Please like and share us.
Then you wouldn't have to do sell houses anymore, right?
He doesn't sell many to begin with.
I like selling houses. It gets me more time with people.
Yeah, that's
a good
it
way to
makes
look
sense.
at it.
That's why he started this.
Yeah.
It gave him an excuse to have more time with people.
That's where I'm at.
That's a good thing.
It's
Though.
my sweet spot. Hanging out.
Yeah. I can hang out too, actually. I mean, I could do this all day long.
Shh, don't tell everybody it's so easy. It's harder than it looks.
I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I'm saying.
No comment.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's been a blast. It's been honestly, it's just been such a privilege knowing you and
Thank you.
hanging out with you.
Likewise,
when
man.
we do get the time and just watching you grow this company, everything that you guys have done, you and D together, has just been. I mean, plus your 3 beautiful children, the whole bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, you definitely take pride in taking care of yourself. We were talking about all kinds of healthy stuff before we went on the podcast. It's like, man, that's awesome. You're an inspiration for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
I appreciate that.
thank you so much for coming on. Sounds like Ben has to take a call.
No. I don't have to take a call. I forgot to put my phone on silent. What a jerk.
Dude, we're casual here. We're drinking.
That's true. That's what's so cool about this.
It's like going out to dinner without
hanging
dinner.
out.
So I tell people, it's like going out to dinner without dinner. And we just talk about you. And that's, just the best we can do to just bolster local guys like you, get you guys more work and, become more independent as a community. We've got excavators, we've got manufacturers, we got, coffee brewers, and shout out to Two Dogs Coffee for today's coffee.
Nope, Chubby Dog.
Chubby Dog, what'd I say? Two
Two
Dogs.
Dogs.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Oh, man. Dyslexic Matt.
Yeah, this is why we can't get advertised.
This is why I write things down, and you're always like, you don't need to write
You
down.
went rogue.
But awesome coffee roasters in the area. We've got, laser engraving. It just like the more we have of these local guys sourcing things and be able to source from, just feel like it just makes it more of an independent thing. And there's like, you're more apt to, sponsor a little league team, that kind of thing. More money will go into the community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It gets back into it, and I don't know. I just find that whole circle like intriguing and inspiring, and I love getting people work. So that was another big inspiration for this was like, when I was a GC, like getting a sub, like when I was able to not do the roof and hire somebody to do the roof instead of myself doing it, that was a plus. But then getting that guy's him and his family a paycheck, that was like just
It's a good feeling.
yeah, it's such a good feeling. And just having like the connections when somebody needs something, like, oh, I got a guy for that, and then you get that connection. And that's same as this podcast. We have people making connections and people hiring people because they were on this podcast. That just like inspires us to just keep going, keep doing it, regardless if we ever make money. It doesn't matter. We got free coffee. I
mean,
thanks, Adam. Chubby dog.
Right? You could look at it like this too. Growing a business and being in business for yourself is it a lot of the times it's a very unappreciated thing. You're oftentimes you're just grinding it out a lot on your own, and you could question yourself and your ability or the decisions that you make. So when someone like myself gets to come on here and do this, it's kind of like, wow, you kind of recap on what's happened. You guys just brought it to my light. I was like, wow, it's like, it's high school and up through the world. It's like, I feel like that was a different person, but it brought me all here. So, and I'm sure all your other guests too kind of feel the same way. They feel like, wow, it's kind of cool, to be appreciated in a sense. And
to me,
just cool.
Yep. My heart goes out to anyone grinding away, doing the thing that they love, whether it makes them the most money or not, or gets them the most recognition or not. They're doing what they love.
Yep.
And I'm all about shedding light on that. So,
the money comes eventually with, after a while.
So we're told.
Oh, that's good news. That's good to hear.
I think it's true in any business. I mean, you stick through it long enough, and you stick through the hard times, and eventually, good things start to happen to good people. You know, it's like the way it goes.
Yeah, and the better you get at it, the more experience you get out of it. It's just like it'll start to pile up.
Experience is all of it. You know, I will say that, at least in my line of work, it's all just about hands-on experience.
Yeah,
you could be the smartest guy in the room, but if you haven't done it, I mean,
taking that step, grabbing the tool, and just trying it. Like I will say, I was a carpenter for years before I would pick up a saw and try a dovetail. It was intimidating to me, and then finally I tried it, and it was like, that's not so bad. But like, it takes like, you can take a class on dovetails. I'm not saying you can't, but it's like, it's just that that mindset. Like you're just like, oh, that seems intimidating.
Now I see beautiful ones right there.
Thanks. Those are the ones I did.
I bet they are. They look awesome. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell do you do that?
Those are, and now it's fun, and that I don't have to do it for a living makes it more fun. So. Oh, you showed it to the.
They are good though.
Oh, thanks. But that was one of the things as a carpenter. It was like intimidating to even think about. Like, oh, you got to do a dovetail. And then like I would think of like, well, I could just lap join it. Something easier. Kind of skirt around it, and then finally I was just like, no, you got to have a dovetail. And so, and then once you try that, like another thing, you just start trying more things. So I get it.
A little bit of failure along the way teaches you,
Yep. Cut.
Can't always win.
Slip with the saw and cut right to the bone. Get 6 stitches.
That's a learning lesson.
Can't say enough about that experience.
At least you still got your thumb though.
Right. Yeah. Yep. But So awesome, man. What's your phone number again for the people out there that would love to hire you?
It's 860-617-5610.
And do you have it's Young's Excavation on Facebook?
Yep.
Young's Excavation
Services,
on Facebook, where you can see his work.
Yep.
You kind of have a portfolio going there. You just scroll. You can scroll through it and see Ben's amazing work. So definitely, if you are in need of landscaper, excavator, of small stuff, big stuff, medium stuff, give Ben a call. Thanks for watching, everybody. The Community Workbench family is promoting the Be the One campaign. It was started by the American Legion in efforts to stop veteran suicide. For more details, visit betheone.org. Thanks again to Chubby Dog for giving us these amazing coffees, both decaf and regular.
Caffeinated.
Caffeinated, sure. Decaf and caffeinated. And definitely check either one of their places out. Get some coffee. Bring a bag home with you. You won't regret it. Join us Monday, June 17th, when we talk to a local author, Justin Margadonna. Man, I've been saying that right all day.
I
that happens.
apologize because I spelled his last name wrong.
Margadonna?
Yeah, I left an N out. Sorry, Justin.
Actually, I'm going to get the book. Hang on, everybody. Did I see this? All right.
No, they can.
All right. So I got the book. I'm about halfway through it. Justin Margadonna, and it's called Parallels and Facades. It's a very unique book. All I can say is get your copy on Amazon or any of the local places where it's at. He sells it at a couple of places in Woodstock. It's definitely I don't know. It's tough to even explain. I just can't wait. Next week, June 17th at 6 o'clock, we'll go live and hear all about it from Justin. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days.